Hello everyone, in this video I'll be explaining the problem alternating strings. So this problem was asked in educational code forces round 189 rated for division 2. So let's read out the problem. Let us call a string t alternating if for every I from 1 to n minus 1 the condition t of I not equal to t of I plus 1 holds. So basically adjacent element has to be not equal. Okay. So you're given a string is consisting only of the letters A and or B. You may perform the following operations on it at most once. Okay, we have given a string s in which we have either a or b, or we can have both. Okay, and on this string s we can do the following operation only once. So they have said choose a substring s of l to s of r consisting of at least one character. So at least one character has to be there. So after choosing the substring you may invert all letters in it. Okay, that is change every a to b and every b to a. You are allowed to do it, but you don't have to do it. Reverse the chosen substring, that is transform the string s1 s2. This is basically the string, and this one is substring s of l to s of r into. So as you can see this remains in, but the substring is reversed. So substring is reversed, that's the thing. So the second operation is not mandatory, okay, but the third operation is mandatory. So note that when performing such operation you are not required to do the second step. We can do it or we cannot do it. Okay, for example, for the string s a b a b b a b, so after one operation you can obtain this thing a b a b a b a by choosing the substring from here s5 to s7 and doing the second step. Okay, or we can do this thing b a b a b by choosing the substring s1 to s4. So either we can do on this string or we can do on this string. Basically the second step we can do and not doing the second step. However, you always have to perform the third step of the operation. So we have to perform always the third operation. Don't worry, I'll be telling on the iPad as well. Your task is to determine whether it is possible to obtain any alternating string from the string. Okay, so let me go to the input and tell you what they're saying. So they have given test cases, and we have string s for every test case. So let's take some examples and understand. So in the problem what they said is we have to make a string s. They have given a string s. This is a string, and we need to make this alternating. We have to make this alternating. By alternating, meaning is s of I has to be not equals to s of I plus 1, where I is in the range. Okay, so I is from 0 to size minus 1. Now they've said they'll give string. We can choose as a substring s of r, l to r. We can choose a range, and your range is this way, where n is basically the length of string. Okay, so on this substring we are allowed to do at most once some operations. And what are operations? So the first operation is whatever you are choosing, there has to be at least one character in the substring. Okay, and the second one is whatever substring you have chosen, you can change a to b, you can change, right, and change b to a. So when you're choosing a substring, right, so all the characters you need to change from a to b and b to a. And if you don't want to do this operation, this is optional. This second is optional. So the second operation operates optional. So it's like either you will have to change and substring entirely from A to B and B to A, or you cannot do it. Like you do not, if you do not do it, you don't do it. The third one is you have to reverse the substring. So reversing substring means, so if you consider string, if you consider string S0, S1, you have L minus 1, SL, SR, you have R plus 1 up till Sn you have, right? This is a string. As I'm starting from 0, so, or you can take this way. Yeah, this is correct. I'm starting from 1, so n. So string length is n. So reversing means what will is your S1 to SL minus 1 remains same, but your SR, this thing will get reversed. SL, R plus 1 same, and Sn same. So you have to reverse it. Now let's take some example. So one of the examples they've given is AB, AB, B, AB they've given, right? So if you see, this is not alternating. Here it is alternating, here it is alternating, here also it is alternating, but B and B are same, right? So it is not alternating. Now, okay, if it is not alternating, what you will have to do is, so draw a line, I'll say this part is alternating, okay, and if you see again here this part is also alternating only. So either you can apply the operation on this substring, or you can apply operation on this substring. I'll try to apply operation on this substring, right? So we have AB, AB, A. So now what I'll do is, when applying on the second part, right, VAB, so here I'll apply a second operation. When you apply second operation, your B, AB is going to become A, B, A, because B is going to change to A is going to change to B. Similarly, B is going to change to A. Now it is ABA, right? So yeah, this is the thing, but now you have to again reverse it, right? When you reverse it, this string again, it is going to be same only, because the reverse of ABA is ABA only. Okay, now the second option is you need to reverse the first one. Yeah, you don't apply the second operation, directly reverse it. When you reverse AB to your, this becomes BA, and the remaining string remains same. So this is also alternating, BA. So there are two ways to do it, right? Now in order to solve this, there are some observations that you need to consider, right? The if I take, see, AB, B, AB I'm taking, right? So if you see, this is alternating, this is also alternating, this is alternating, but here it has got changed. So when it has got changed, I will simply draw a line in my mind, and I'll what I'll try to do is, I'll try to again check if it is alternating, this is alternating. So what I've got is, there was only one part in the string wherein they were same. So if it is 1, then it is always possible to do it. Like we can use those operations and do it. If you have a string AB, this is like alternating only. So in this case, you don't need to perform any operation, it is already alternating. So in this case, we'll have to return yes. But let me consider this case again. ABA, D, BAB you have, again BA I'll take. So in this case, what I'll do is, this part is alternating, right? I'll draw a line. Now here this part is alternating, I'll draw a line. Okay. Now you see, this part is alternating individually, this part is alternating individually, and this part is alternating individually, and here is the mismatch, right, at this position. So the middle one I'll take and try to apply this second operation. When I apply second operation, your BAB is going to be ABA, right? I'll reverse this. Again it will be ABA only. Okay. Now if you concat all the strings, your string is going to be, this part remains same, AB, AB. The middle part has changed, ABA. The last part has not changed. So if you see now, it has got alternating one, right? So what I'm trying to say is that if there are mismatched of alternating at of like two, like AB, AB, BAB, you have BA, you have. Again, if you had AB, then in this case you will not be able to do it. The reason being, this part is alternating, I'll draw a line. This part is alternating, I'll draw a line. This part is alternating, I'll draw a line. Here it is alternating. Okay, so whatever operations you will be doing, so at max you will have to do one operation, not more than that. So now the thing is, either you can do operation on this string or on this string, right? If you perform operation on this string, so this is going to be AB, AB, and this part is ABA, and this part is BA, and here it is similar, because only one operation you can do on one substring. So as you can see here on this part, it is again not alternating. So if you take a lot of cases, so what you will understand is that the alternating part, wherever it is missing, right, that part, the count of that has to be at max 2, not more than that. Okay. Right. So what I'm trying to say is, alternating mismatch at max has to be 2, right, not more than that. If it is more than that, then it is not possible. If it is less than that, then it is possible. If you take one more example, let's take A. Now if you see these two, it is not alternating, right? So I'll draw a line. If you take these two, this is also not alternating, I'll draw a line. This is not, I'll draw a line. This is also not, I'll draw a line. So in total, if you see how many mismatch you got, 1, 2, 3, 4. So here we've got 4 mismatch. Even if you take any substring and try to do that, so you will be changing, right? So you can do at max 1. So this substring you have done, let's say, so this is the string that will be getting, but here as you can see it is not alternating. So this is very important one. This will come only when try to when you've taken a lot of cases and solved it. So I think this was the main thing on the problem. So whatever string they'll give, right, in the string S, you need to check or count, you can say. You need to count non-alternating, right? If your count is less than or equals to 2, then answer is yes, else answer is no. This is the thing. Okay. So I think you guys have understood. Let's try to analyze. Let's try to first solve it, then we'll try to analyze time complexity. This is alternating one. So we have test cases and then string s. We have string s. Now I'll take a count which is initially 0. Okay, I will take one character previous, or we cannot we can do directly. We are taking ns size of this string. What I'll check is if s of I minus 1, the previous one, if it is equals to s of I, which means we have got a string which is not alternating. So I'll increase a count. Okay, and at the end I'll have to check if this count is greater than 2, which means answer is not possible, else answer is possible. Don't forget, and let's try to run it. It is running fine. Let's try to submit it. So yeah, it got accepted. So I think it was an easy problem. Basically, you had to check how many were non-alternating, and if that count was greater than 2, then you cannot do it, because if the count is more than 2, then there are a lot of such things which needs to be performed, the operation they've specified in the question. Okay, so this operation we need to perform. Else, if the count is less than or equal to 2, then there is one substring in the middle where we can make changes, and that is possible, like basically possible to make the string to be alternating. Now if you try to analyze the time complexity, so in the question, in the problem, as you can see, we are using only one for loop, right? Not more than that. So the time complexity is O of n, which is linear, and space complexity is O of 1 constant, because we are not using any extra space. So yeah, thank you guys for watching the video.